Welcome to the Back Pew. This podcast exists to highlight the everyday pastor. Whether you're preaching to 15 people in a WASP, mastered the Saturday night special sermon prep, or wondered if faithfulness really matters if no one's watching, you're in the right place. Join me, Corey Jackson, as I interview everyday pastors and talk everyday ministry and church life. No spotlight, no stage, just a seat in the back and a front row view of what God is doing. Well, welcome to the Back Pew Podcast, to the first interview episode. I'm your host, Corey Jackson. I have the honor and privilege of being here, sitting across the table from Josh Meadows. He is the current pastor at the Way Community Church in Louisville, Mississippi. And Josh, just thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be my guinea pig this morning. You are my first interview, this is just a new way, a new journey for me. So I thank you for taking the time and doing this with me this morning, Josh.
Absolutely, brother. I'm honored.
Yeah. And so just to give a little background on Josh. Josh has been in ministry for 22 years, 19 years in pastoral ministry. He has served in Quitman, Meridian, DeKalb, Philadelphia, Tupelo, and like I've already said, currently serving in Louisville, Mississippi at the Way Community Church, and you've been there 2 years. And so I was looking, you sent this information over to me. Where in DeKalb did you serve?
Vardaman Baptist Church.
Vardaman? Okay, there's a Vardaman Baptist Church in DeKalb.
It's Kemper County, right off Highway 16. It's a DeKalb address, but you're actually closer to Philadelphia.
Nice, okay.
So try to explain that to people that do not know.
Yes, maybe some of these folks will have no idea these towns, and like even where we're currently at in Kemper County, we're just outside the Nanawoya community. So these weird Mississippi communities like Noxapater, Sugarlock, all these just weird Mississippi names. But well, that's great. Yeah, where we're currently at right now, where me and Josh are currently sitting, is in Kemper County at Dry Creek Baptist Church, and we're probably 15 miles from DeKalb. So that's why I wanted to ask that. So Josh, just wanted to talk with you about just your ministry, talk about, your call to ministry. And this right here, this podcast is more of just a way to encourage just your everyday pastor that no one knows their name except the folks that they serve and the community that they're in, and they probably don't want anybody to know their name. But this is just a way that I hope that we can encourage them. Maybe what we talk about speaks to maybe some of the situations that they're currently in, and just give them hope and encouragement and where God's assigned them out. So, like I said, you've been at the Way for 2 years now. How's God currently working in your church at the Way?
Oh wow, He is doing that. It's been interesting because we are facing some challenges, like I think every church does. If you look at financially or numerically, but what I'm seeing take place in our church is I'm hoping and praying a shift in what used to be to what I think God wants us to be. Mm-hmm. We've started something I've never been able to do before. I've been praying for this for 20 years, and it never was able to be launched anywhere else until I got here. Was basically a men's accountability group.
Oh, nice.
Where men, and 6 of my men in my church, some of them are elders, some of them are just are common lay folk, and we go through each Sunday. We meet together because I try to meet what's best for them. Mm-hmm. We gather together and we walk through the Word together. We walk through some books together, encourage each other. And as I told them, there are no questions protected or left alone. Everything's going to be asked. Yeah, which is funny for men because we want people to think we're spiritual supermen or physical supermen when really we're a hot mess. Yes. But that's doing well. We've been doing that since October of last year, so coming on a year. Yeah. And my desire from that is, and I've already have one that's in the process that I love dearly, like my brother, that through this, we're going to see men mature in a way that maybe can fill a pulpit or teach a class. Yeah. Be a better husband, better dad, regardless. Yeah. We're seeing that even talking with the wives. Mm-hmm. That's the really cool thing about it. You're seeing and hearing this testimony.
That's awesome, man.
So that's been the cool thing. And from that, our ladies have started one. And it's a neat thing to kind of watch that. Mm-hmm. Because, and I'm not by any means, this. I'm not knocking anybody that has small groups. That's not even what I'm saying, because I actually encourage them.
Right.
Because it does give you a little more community and fellowship than what you traditionally would have.
Right.
Traditional church. But I just watch, sometimes in small groups, it's we go through a Bible study and we go home. But there's never really any, hey man, how are you doing?
That's right.
What's going on in your life? So that's the thing that I'm starting to see take place.
Awesome,
so I've got some friends of mine, oh, we've been doing that 20 years and we have 300 men. Well, I don't have 300 men, and I'm happy to have 6.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, like, going back, we were discussing before this, a lot of times in larger settings or larger churches, you forget the little smaller rural churches, the ones that are not as significant as we like to say. And so the little victories, to me, like that, are huge for a church.
That's right.
So
how long did it take you to get that off the ground there at the Way?
That was a fun part about it. Not very long. Usually I'll hear guys say, it's take me, X amount of years or months. But I went to a spiritual renewal conference October of last year. And before I went, I guess, I've been looking at for a few months of how to put a men's group together where I'm asking you some questions and you're not getting heated with me and saying, man, that's none of your business.
That's right.
And I went to that spiritual renewal conference and that was, wow, this is exactly what I'm wanting to do.
Right.
So it does work.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I copycat it. This was literally my vision, and I was seeing it literally before my very eyes.
Right.
And I was able to sit around and talk to those guys, and they were in the same boat I was in. There was a pastor in my group, and then there was a construction guy. There was 2 retired guys, and the really cool thing about it was we had the privilege of leading one man to the Lord. It was our small group.
Praise the Lord.
And so I watched them think, okay, this can work our church.
Yeah.
You just got to get people buy into it.
Right. And that's something where, like you said, like you have guys that you might ask a specific or intentional question like that. Like, well, that's a big thing, especially in the context that you and I serve in, because we serve in the same association.
Yes. And
just the men, they love the Lord, but then they like the privacy, too. Or even some of the men that come to church, they, might not necessarily be Christians. And then they're just like, well, what happens here and what happens, whenever I'm not inside this church building is really nobody's business. So that's good that you have men that are willing to open up and share.
And that's the thing about it, because we've had some that say, oh, I want to be a part, and then they find out what we're actually doing, but never come back to that class again thinking they're getting in each other's business. Well, I kind of told y'all that's what we're going to do. We're not intentionally saying, Corey, are you doing? No, I mean, it's sometimes the stuff just kind of falls in your lap. Sometimes it's in discussion, and I've got one brother recently. I mean, he started pouring his heart out about some things about his family. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
So that scares some men.
Yes.
But I man, it's encouraging me, because some people think, man, why do you do that before you preach? I thought the same thing, and I realized how much that fueled me.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Because when I come back from that retreat, I was thinking, all right, I thought for like 2-3 weeks, how can I now implement this at the Way? Because I didn't want to seem like I was coming off, unprepared or anything. And I've been praying through this, drawing out pictures on notebook paper, because I'm not computer savvy of how to do blueprints. And I'm sitting there thinking out, this is what I would like to see. And I didn't know if it would work. And then when I went to this, that's exactly what we were doing. Yeah. And that encouraged me, because some people, it scared them because you get a little emotional at times. Right. Because, it's an emotional thing to deal with. And I just presented to our church after morning worship one day. I said, look, if there's any men in here, I said, I know you don't look at me like I'm crazy, but if there's any men in here that needs accountability, that needs somebody to walk through life with them spiritually, come see me after church. And by Monday, I had 6 men. Oh, wow. And I'm like, okay, that took off a lot quicker and bigger, and I was glad for that. Because it's hard to go any larger than that, because then you go back to, well, I'm not going to share anything to 3 people.
Right. Well, that's what kind of one thing I was going to ask about that is, I'm just, you're talking about it is, how do you, like, if you got 6 men in there now, how do you, if another man wanted to come in, like, what's the kind of size group you want to keep it at? Would you want to go? I mean, But what's the size group you would think is best, or would you want to do more than one group?
Well, my plan is to eventually do more.
Yeah.
But what I would like to do at the end of this year, because my plan is, I told them, well, I'm going to survey the group. I've got one guy, I think, who a little bit of push, and he'll do well. Maybe a couple of them, actually.
Yeah.
But we've all sat around and table said, hey, we've done this in Sunday school and Bible study time, and man, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And I'd ask, why do you? I'm just that way. It sounds like I'm being a jerk. I'm really not, because I like to provoke thoughts by questions.
Yeah.
Why did you do it then?
Yeah.
Well, we've always done it that way, or that's the way I was taught to do it.
Right.
And it's not technically wrong, but in the society, in the church where we are today, some places flourish with that.
Yeah.
And some places don't.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you'll sit there and go through a class and you're going through a book and everybody's kind of gazing around, not even paying attention. But when I can ask you questions and you can respond back,
right?
To me, that's a big deal.
Sure.
So my plan is, after this year, is, and it may be a little longer, and if that's okay too. I'm fine with that. But hey, all right, I want you now to go find 2 or 3 brothers.
Right. Yeah.
And then, and over in time, what I like to see is discipleship take place in the church.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to give our tithes need to be better.
Yeah.
Not trying to be a rich church, but some people aren't giving.
Yeah.
Our faithfulness needs to be better. Our marriages need to be better.
Yeah.
The way, and a friend of mine said this, and I kind of laughed about it, and then I started thinking, I said, there's truth in that. I think that's the whole truth, really, was what will correct a lot of the problems in the church we're having. And that's discipleship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so, if you truly seek Christ, if you're truly seeking, that's what you want for every person in your church, is to be truly seeking Him, truly seeking His ways and His Word. Then your life is going to align up with His Word. It has to. It has to. Are you the only paid staff at the Way?
No, we my goodness, we're a mega church. But anyway, we have multiple services throughout the week. No, I have, it's myself and my secretary, our full-time staff. Then I pay a music minister, our youth leaders. I have a husband and wife couple. As you know, when Robert had to step away, Hunter and Mackenzie stepped up.
That's
and
right.
It was great because Robert did an incredible job there. I thank God for him each and every day, because he actually restored my daughter's faith in youth ministry.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When she was hurt and burned.
Yeah.
So that was, for me, and I watched him, it was a painful transition.
Yeah.
But it was one that we both knew, and he and I talked about it. We both knew, well, God has used you. Yeah. But now you have other responsibilities. He has to fulfill at home with his job. So praise God for him. He still comes, which is really, really, really good. Yeah. And then it's our youth, our music, me, my association director. What would that be? He'll like that. But anyway, our secretary, our administrative assistant. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. But are you full time where you're at? Are you the only full time?
There's 2 of us, my secretary and me.
Okay. And so you got this going on, and then how many folks? I mean, again, I just want folks to be able to, hear what y'all are doing here with these men. How many folks do you think you have that attend every Sunday?
Oh, right now we're talking about summertime. Good luck with that. But the last few weeks we've been pushing 100, a little more. Yeah. When the summer's over, of course it goes up. Yeah. But it's in that ballpark, 100 to 120. Right. Yeah. Some days I get it's lower. Yeah. By all means, I think we're all deal with that, because we'll probably talk about this in a moment. Some of the challenges that you and I are facing. Yeah. Man, I've never in my life seen my life, and I've talked to other pastors. They go, I'm glad I'm retired and I don't have to deal with this, because I wouldn't know what to do. I'm thinking, okay, so I don't feel so foolish then. Right. Yeah.
So we can talk about that now. And even just so folks know that are listening to this, we are in rural Winston County, Mississippi. Where I pastor at, I got a cow pasture in my front yard and woods in my backyard. Now Josh is we're both, I guess, off of major highways. When I say major highway, I mean a 2-lane highway that there's nothing around you for about 10 miles if you're going, But we're in a county, that is like, whenever you think of Mississippi, you could think of Winston County to fit every stereotype. Yeah. But what are some challenges that we're facing today, especially in our context here in the church?
You sit here and try to pile a bunch of answers to that question, but I think the biggest challenge is, the lack of faithfulness
Mm-hmm.
And obedience in that area. Growing up, I did not attend church much. And the one I did attend in Marion, First Baptist, we had RAs,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd play baseball
Mm-hmm.
after Bible study.
Yeah.
Don't ask me what the Bible studies were, because I thought I was Nolan Ryan, and everybody else were chumps, but I didn't care. That was our biggest challenge then, of that day, and growing up, and most people went to church, or as we like to say. But now, in those days, we didn't have practice on Wednesday nights or Sundays. When I will step into youth ministry as youth pastor. I remember when that first happened. Some of my girls were cheerleaders. They were like, "Hey, I got practice on Wednesdays." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And thankfully, that was able to be intervened, because we were able to talk to some people. And so the youth ministers were there with as well. Yeah. So we were able to talk to the schools and say, "Hey, can y'all, change that a little bit?" And they worked with us. It was fine. But now, it's no one cares. And I think that scares me.
Yeah.
It's because I think John MacArthur, the great John MacArthur, said it not too long ago. We feel like, hey, we're living in a post-Christian society, but he turned around and said, I think we're living in a pre-Christian. We're living as it was before Christ now. Yeah. We're living like ruthless. Yeah. Don't care.
Yeah.
But
I think that's one and the same, right? Post and pre.
Yeah.
Post-Christian or pre-Christian.
Yeah. We're living as, we know Jesus lived. It's great, but now we're living as he's never even came.
Yeah.
So but you're right. It's the same in context. And that's the thing. I'm like, how do we do this? Because now you have, and I'm not bashing anybody that does ball.
You're right. Yeah.
I'm a huge baseball fan, but things like traveling ball. And then there's now the thing I've noticed. I get 2 vacations a year, and I've had pastors cheat me out. In the last couple of years, I've taken 1 a year. Not that I'm saying that I don't want to take a vacation. I love so much what I do and where I'm doing it. It's not technically labor to me.
Right.
I really do love it. And where we live in our community in Louisville, it's like a little nest back there that I can just hang out and talk with my neighbor about collecting water from a spring down the road or whatever, camping, you name it, and watching my kids play out in the yard. Yeah. And our cat neighborhood has like an abundance of cats, so we like the cat family in our community. It's simple, and I love it. So a lot of times, I guess maybe I need to take both of them. And I encourage guys, but I don't know. I'm probably, not trying to brag, probably more spiritually healthy now than I've been in period. Yeah. Yeah. So, and the challenges is watching people literally choose other things.
Yes. I think that's my whole, again, we don't want to harp or make, I don't know if maybe we do want to make people feel maybe convicted maybe a little bit, but travel ball, it's like, okay, I'll go to church when it's convenient.
Well, that's exactly what you're saying.
and again, church attendance doesn't make you a Christian, but we are called to assemble together.
And that's the thing that we struggle with, because with that, I was using my story of vacation for some weird reason. But anyway, what I've noticed is some people say, well, we pray at the ball games or Bible study.
Or devotion.
But that's not the church.
Yeah, no.
That's just putting your Jesus stamp on your fleshly
right.
pleasures.
That's right.
And so with that, you're seeing travel ball. Something I've never experienced before. Like I said, I was going to the issue of my vacations is you have a young family, so you understand this. When you want to go on vacation, if you're like me, you save your money. Yeah. All right, we have X amount of dollars. Now we can go to wherever. And if we go over this amount, we're not eating for the next 2 weeks, But some now people credit cards. They'll just swipe it and they'll pay for it throughout the year. So you have, besides the family taking 1 or 2 vacations a year, you're seeing 3 and 4 just in the summertime. Yeah. And that's the thing I'm thinking. You're seeing, and I'm so thankful that people spend time with family.
Absolutely.
I mean that.
Absolutely.
But if we're living in a way where we have to take that many vacations, there's something probably wrong.
And again, we probably sound like 2 grumpy old pastors.
Oh no, I'm good with it.
But and I'll be gracious and say that some of our folks, whenever they go on vacation, they go to another church service. I'll be gracious with that.
They better not.
But you would, it's like I'm taking a break from my job. I'm taking a break from my faith. I'm taking a break from Jesus.
A lot will.
and whenever I'm somewhere, I'll take a vacation. I'm going to try to go to a church service if I'm gone.
I used to not be that way.
Yeah.
Because I listened to a pastor, and I kind of let it get in my mind a little bit. But I used to be like, you know what? I'm preaching every day. I'm around people every day. Or I'm preaching every day. I'm around people every day. I'm in the office. I'm doing this. I need a break. I start thinking, no, that's Josh. That's actually terrible.
That's right.
Go to a congregation where the word's being preached, and just let the Spirit feed you. Let the Word feed you.
That's right.
And that's helped me a lot. So recently, I'm out to my vacation. I took Easter. I preached, and we drove to the mountains, and then and I think I went to a pastor friend of mine that Sunday. I'll listen to him preach. I'll probably come here soon, but I've gone on vacation. Literally drove right up the highway 25 to go to a friend of mine's church and just sit there.
Well, and that's the thing, with a bunch of folks. Well, your typical lay person, your typical church member doesn't understand is your pastor is continually pouring into you, but your pastor is not having anybody pour into himself. And so that's, even though it might be once a year where you take a vacation, it's so important to go and sit and listen to preaching somewhere and get again. It should be more than that. It should be more often than that. But it should at least happen once.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we're now really hearing about sabbaticals. Those can be really beneficial, but you're trying to talk to a rural church, and I'm not criticizing anybody on that because it's a foreign thing to some. Because we live in a culture where if you're not working, you shouldn't be getting paid type thing. But a lot of our folk are working hard. I know mine are, yours are as well, and they're getting here.
That's right.
And they're wanting to hear the word. They're not receiving it like you were. You've been in it for hours upon hours a week, and they just come here for an hour.
That's right.
So they're
really 30 minutes.
That's true. Yeah. Well, if your meat's smaller than that. But anyway, I'm milk this bad for all I can. I shouldn't have moved it an hour earlier. But that's the thing. But either way, it's good that we can get away for that little bit. Yeah. Because I got a friend of mine. He's after 5 years at his church, he's getting a sabbatical this October.
Oh wow.
So he said he's going to kind of go to different places. I said I would love that.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. I can afford it, but it'd be fun to go and just say, hey, I'm going to go to Butte, Montana, or I'm going to somewhere else, and I'm gonna look at the scenery. Yeah, because that's vacation. If I can just go somewhere and just look outside, I'm happy. Yeah, and go listen to somebody preach, or get something like that, and come back home recharged.
That's right.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, but I mean, hey, reality is sometimes we all can't get those things. So.
Yeah, that's like you said in a rural context, a sabbatical is basically a sin or a cuss word.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Right. Well, so with where you're at the way, how many times do y'all have a Sunday? You have a Sunday morning service. Yeah. Y'all do a Wednesday night. It's not during the summer, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of tell us what your week as far as your services look like.
Well, because the way our schedule is, our church, I know some wrestle with this, and some think it's like a terrible sin. I don't. As the older I'm getting, I'm starting to see things not technically different, but I'm starting to see certain things a little deeper in context. But we have Sunday morning services at 10 o'clock, and then we do not do anything on Sunday evenings. Ours is this worship and rest. And man, I get to hang out with my family. Yeah. The guys, and I commend them. Some of them, I love them dearly. Some guys preach twice a day. I've known some that preach 3 and 4.
There's a guy in our association that preaches at 3 different churches.
I'm sitting thinking of driving along.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
But no, you have, and to me, I don't count that as a burden. It's a pleasure, a joy to be able to do those things. Yeah. But the older I'm getting, and you know this, the older my kids are getting. I mean, I have a 16-year-old now. Yeah. She's soon going to be gone. Right. And for so many years, I've been Sunday morning, Sunday night doing this, and to this day, I still miss Sunday night. So I do. Yeah. I think because it's been so distilled into me, and I feel like I still have something empty out in the tank. But then, of course, during the week, Sunday morning I lead our Bible study for our men, I preach, and then Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night our ladies meet, and then Wednesday night our youth, our children. And then I teach a small group, midweek type class. Yeah. So we have something really for everyone. And my prayer is is I've talked to a family in our church. I want to start another one this year. More, maybe gear more evangelistic in the idea of, as we remember, Sunday school used to call the outreach of the church, where if you would grow your church through your Sunday school class. Remember that? I kind of want to basically adapt that philosophy.
Sure.
And hey, let's walk through this together, but let's take this approach and reach the people.
Right. That's so before I was truly saved, I moved to New Orleans, and an old acquaintance, I would call him at that point an acquaintance, reached out, and he invited me to a small group at his home. And so that and me going to that, being in that small group in that home, got me back into church, regularly for the first time in like 8 years. So I feel like small groups that meet in homes. We don't currently have anything like that where I'm at, but that's fine. We're working, we're doing what I know the Lord wants us to do. But that, I think, is one of the most important things, especially in a pre-Christian or post-Christian culture, trying to get people's hearts warmed back to the people. When I say the people, the church, really, because the people are the church.
Like with our church, you may recall this, because you've done a little bit of work there in years past, but I was told, and after I asked, some of our small group stuff started out in homes. And then they outgrew the homes.
That's right.
Well, for us, and you understand this, the central location is in the church building.
Right.
So it kind of migrates here. Sometimes those grow. Sometimes I've seen them kind of slack because they don't want that feel.
Right.
And so my thing is, like, I would love to be able to start another one in a home or somewhere.
Because, some folks just have this block, like, I just can't step inside a church building right now. And so if you can get them inside someone's home and get them comfortable and just take time with them, it works. I mean, I tell you, I know it works because it worked with me personally. I mean, just, talked about kind of your week as far as services go. What sermon prep? Kind of maybe walk me through that. That's
Do you really want to know?
I really want to know.
My wife will testify to this. My secretary, to a point. Mine usually starts about 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
On Monday morning. I've had a lot of guys tell you, man, I don't study for sermons on Monday morning. I'm thinking, well, I've got to, because I've just emptied my battery terminal, my gas tank, my reserves, everything on Sunday. I want to start off Monday.
Do you make your secretary get there at 5:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I should. I need to.
You're welcome, Miss Vicky.
Her husband will probably, hey, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But no. And I'm at the house in a little state in my home, and I get to the office usually 7:30. And I begin then, and she, of course, we traditionally open at 8. But I'm in it then, and I'm already my personal Bible study time. I'm walking through the text because I try to make, and it's difficult, because it takes a lot of discipline and it's easy to get off track, very easy. That which I'm studying, I try to begin, developing that to sermon. Because I used to be, when I was in Tupelo, I realized this. It took me a while, and God had to open my eyes to it. I was basically preparing sermons, Bible study, preaching, but I was never really growing. I was be honest, I wasn't growing as I should. Until I actually started breaking. A friend of mine, I was watching him. First thing in the morning, he's breaking down the text. He's walking. It's his personal Bible study time. So if I can take my personal Bible study time, what God's given me, and turn around and give it to you, that's fun. Right. I'm all over that.
That's right.
And we're going through Acts right now, so I'm studying the book of Acts in my personal study time, and preaching delivery in the book of Acts. That's 2 different books. But now I'll tell you what, I've been learning.
So do y'all go verse by verse or chapter, or is it more chapter by chapter?
I go verse by verse. And that's why it's difficult, because in expository preaching, I wasn't technically taught that.
And I guess real quick, for those I know a lot of folks will know what expository preaching is, but expository preaching is exposing what is the text really says. It's not preaching an idea that pops in our head and finding scripture to back that up. Expository preaching is going just verse by verse and preaching what the word says, bringing out, exposing what the reality is in the scripture.
And that's one of the things that I'm learning is, even in the delivery aspect, starting out in introduction, is not make the text about my story, but how am I pointing people to what the text is teaching?
Right.
So, yeah, you're looking for relevant things, but a lot of times the text is all introduction.
That's right.
And the book of Acts is a great example.
Yeah.
That's kind of, what's the introduction? Well, go back to last week.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of, that's all I need.
I found something that I have been very encouraged by, like, especially here where I'm at, and then like with you, like you talking about how you preach. People, and again, I know people will say, well, you know, the disciples, the apostles, they didn't preach expositionally, they didn't have, you know, and that kind of thing. Well, yeah, I get it, but we have the full canon of Scripture, you know, at our fingertips, and I think, and from what I've seen just from my folks, you know, that I pastor here, is they really love the expositional verse by verse, because that's just, they're not used to that.
They want to know what it means.
That's right. You know, they've heard all their, and again, we should preach the gospel every single time we get up there behind a pulpit and preach. But, you know, if people are, I think, are tired of hearing there's only two places you can go when you die, and that's heaven or hell. Like we know this, and we should say it, you know, but it should be relevant to what we're preaching.
Right, and that was something that I'm probably going to say something very arrogant sounding or mean, and I'm not really meaning it that way. It's just something I've experienced in my own life, and I've watched it happen in the church. I was never exposed to it until I went to college, and my pastor, I love him. He was a good expository preacher, but in full context, when I went to Dallas, and my pastor at the time was Mac Brunson.
Yeah,
bro, I'm like, what is that he's doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you know, I'm not trying to minimize anything anybody invests in my life, because God has blessed me with some incredible godly men to help me.
Right.
But that was kind of the thing. I'm like, whatever he's doing, I want to do that.
That's right. Yeah.
I can do this other stuff. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But what did I realize? The studying that's involved, because he was, I mean, he's a history buff, like nobody's business. Yeah. But he'll go back and take something during that era, right, and bring it into the text. You're like, dude, I didn't. Okay, that's cool, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's I was first exposed to expository preaching whenever we were in New Orleans. Yeah, and man, Matthew DeLauder down there at Emmanuel Church, and Andrew Hanna, Ben Curtis, man, they just really were great still are great expository preachers. And I don't have any seminary education. I don't have anything like that, and so I have to go. You know, I really depend on learning from guys like you and guys like like my mentors that I have. And so I like, kind of like you said, like I want to know how to do that. Yeah.
And there's some things, seminary offers great help. I'm not knocking it all, Bible college, anything like that. But some of the best learning, the best learning I've ever experienced is other men's lives. Yeah.
Well, what that men's group that you mentioned earlier, like if any of them want to be a pastor or feel that God calling that, having that calling on their life, that group is going to probably teach them more about ministry than any seminary class could ever teach them.
One thing seminary, I'm not knocking it. I mean, the thing I learned about a lot of that is it does not teach you relationships. Right. I mean, you can have all theology in the world and be jacked up on your own theology. Brother, if I can't talk to you one-on-one, we have problems.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So, that's right. Well, so you got, different different ministries going during the week. You got your main Sunday morning service. You got your men's group. How do you balance ministry and family time, family life?
Yeah. I don't. I just run all together. I don't know. That's a challenge for me, because I really love being around my family, and I really love studying. I'm not trying to be super spiritual by any means of that. But a friend of mine, I watched his life. His name's Nick. He pastors in Kemper County as well. And I watched this man raise his 3 daughters to be godly women, to marry godly men. And this dude knows the Bible more than anybody, and he has 0 seminary training. Yeah. But brother can take the word and unfold it and give you stories. You're like, yeah, man, I just went around the block. and I'm still thinking, how did that happen? So I watched guys like him and one of my mentors, Daniel Lanier. Yeah. Pastor, evangelist for so many years. I watch them. That question, how do you make the family and the ministry work together? Because some guys, they devote themselves so much to the ministry that the family suffered.
I think that's probably most.
Most large.
Not that we ever intend for that.
It can easily happen. I can see it easily happening where we are because hey, let's plan a meeting this time because everybody's got to work and it's best time. And then we got a smaller, and you can do it quick and not pay attention. But for me, it's of course I have the prayer. I get up in the mornings, I get going, and then I come home and do. When I come home, everything's turned off. Because we do homeschool, so I do have the privilege if I want to go home early, hang out with them, or whatever.
Are you teaching, or is your who's?
You don't want to teach
I don't.
kids.
No. That's why I was making sure.
No, it's my wife. My wife was a school teacher actually in Kemper County, and then we moved to Clark County. She taught there. That's her degree, but I knew before I was even married. We've been married 18 years. I knew before then that I wanted to have a large family. And that and I'm not trying to attack anybody that sends their children to public school or anything. That's not it. But I knew this was God's will for me and my family. And when I married her, she was finishing up college at State, and I pick on her still this day. She's not a football fan, but I'm an Auburn fan. I don't watch football either, but it's just kind of a joke we had. She goes, well, how are we going to make this work? I said, well, you'll drop out of college and you'll go to Auburn. Very simple. But she started teaching. It was an amazing thing watching God work because in year 2 of our marriage, we found out we were pregnant with our oldest daughter, Lydia. And she began having a very hard time going back to school, going back to work. And she would tell me, she said, I think every day I'd leave Lydia and I'd cry. Well, when the Lord moved us to Quitman and pastoring there, she basically took on a teaching job there, maybe like 2nd, 3rd grade, just kind of a fill-in that literally opened up as a full-time job. And that year, I'd been wrestling with it for a year during that time. Going back, I remember my covenant with the Lord, my heart's desire with the Lord years before. This is what I want to see my family go through and do because I want us to be faithful to the Lord. I don't want us to be married to something that if God says, look, my desire for you is to go here. God, I can't because I'm committed to this over here. And I want us to go wherever the Lord leads when. I'm that way, kind of like a ragamuffin way, or was it I don't know those guys. But anyway, but no, you look at, I was looking at watching her go every day, and I was taking my daughter to daycare, and I was going to the office, or I would take her with me. And then, I don't know, early that year, of her last year teaching, the Holy Spirit began really bringing all that back up to my mind. And after several weeks of wrestling with that, and all right, God, we can't afford to live this way. We can't take a $32,000 pay cut. I don't make that much money on paper. We are going to go broke. We have people in our church tell us, man, you don't need to do this. You're going to go broke. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but we're just going to go broke. I cannot live like this anymore. I come home, and my wife came home that night. She's getting home in the evening times, and I said, we need to talk about this. And she goes, I know God's been dealing with me as well. It was pretty much, we can't do this more. She goes, this is my last year. And we have not gone without. And we've been doing it for,
praise God,
13 years.
Praise God.
So
that's
it's
awesome.
Been tough, but hey, God's provided. So I cannot fuss.
Well, that's something that's easy preaching, but hard practicing is just just relying on God.
Because every church we've gone to, we have 4 children now. I have a 2-year-old, I'm 46, so I'm scared to death of my life in the future. No, but because we were joking around about it last night. My daughter said, well, how old will Daddy be when Dax graduates? I said, 70. Oh, God. Oh, look, his grandpa came. No, that's my dad. But, it's kind of scary. But anyway, but we... trust me, I'm really scared right now. But anyway, I've learned that really when I come home, I'm hanging out with kids. I will go back at night and go back and study some more because there's something I still want to know. But the older I'm getting, the less I'm enjoying things like TV. And things I used to love. if I could go back in my life and rewind and remove some things in my life, that would be one advice. Was things like, I'm not saying television,
sure.
I don't care, but if I could remove all of the stuff that I watched or took part in, was pointless.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's I know with me, it just I've been in ministry 4 years, going on 4 years. This is my first pastorate. Been here since October, and even now I can just see how easy it is to focus more on the ministry. Well, and let me clarify what I mean by this: discipling other people rather than discipling your family.
Yeah,
that's what I really I see how easy, because your family is just there's no way to really put words to it. Like you only can know what I mean if you're a pastor.
Yeah.
But it's so much easier to disciple other people rather than it is your family.
It is, and for you, I really think it's harder than it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, I'll be honest with you, I was reading a post Baptist Press put out this week of how some pastors are coming to find out they'd rather have a part-time job type. Basically, that's what it said.
Yeah.
Have a part-time job instead of. I understand that because we did the Serve Out Loud thing.
Yeah.
We were out ministering to our community a couple weeks ago. And, dude, I was so stinking happy that I was inside the grocery store bagging groceries and talking to people.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I could do this.
Yeah. That's right.
For the joy of it.
Right.
And but I watched that, but also with you, because I did it, and I'm ashamed, but thank God for His providence, because you go to your 9 to 5, you go to work, and if like me, I was in bivocational. There was times I was tri-vocational because I did not know how to manage my money correctly. I'd go to work 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes you have to be there earlier if you're doing construction work,
right?
Or laying tile or painting or cabinet work, anything else. You got to be there literally at the crack of dawn, because it's going to start getting hot in a couple hours.
Yeah.
And you go there and you work, and then I go to my next job and work where we couldn't be here. Or you finish up this job, you go to the next site, and you work on it. Well, I got to go home and study for sermon.
Yeah.
And then guess when I see my wife or my kids? 8, 9 o'clock at night. Maybe time for me to go to bed.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I learned this. That's where a lot of people's lives are.
Yes.
They're working, taking on an extra job. I know you got to provide for your family, man. I applaud you. I thank God for that. But don't trade that in on that time.
Right. Well, I guess so. Maybe one thing, how we'll end this, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here, maybe, but how would you encourage? What would you say to that pastor that is just there, that's working maybe one job, an additional job, or maybe 2 additional jobs, that's struggling with balancing that family time, balancing, time preparing for that sermon on Sunday, that's just struggling, like, is this really what God has called me to do? No one seems to know me. I'm not really, we only got 15 people in the pews on Sunday. How would you encourage? What would you say to that pastor?
Oh, well, that is a tough one, because I know a guy that's going through that now. Man, not trying to sound super spiritual, like I'm the love guru by any means, because, man, I'm not. My number one thing is I would tell that person in every way that I could, protect your marriage the best way you can. Is it difficult? Marriage, some days it is. Yeah. And I hear about these horror stories. Man, we fought the first 5 years, or marriage. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been married 18 years. I'm loving it. Yeah, yeah. You know what we don't do? We don't fight. We've never really fought. We had disagreements. Sure. And when I saw it her way, we were good. But not.
Happy wife, happy life.
Hey, that was that quick. But I've watched people literally in the pews almost destroy their lives. I've also seen guys in the pulpit do the same thing. Yeah, yeah. And there's no balance. I mean, you're leading. Sometimes the culture we live in, because the big industry mindset, you work 8 to 5 or whatever it is, and then you do this, this, and this. It's affected our church, the pastor as well, because we've adopted that mindset. Yeah, we have a freedom, truthfully, Corey, like nobody else, and we don't know how to maintain it. Yeah, we don't know how to do it. And because it's been drilled in our head, you need to work like this, work this many hours, this, and I'm okay with that. But man, take time, spend time in the Word. We're blessed to be called to what we're called to. Yeah, I'm definitely unqualified by all means, but in the process, man, turn the phone off, whatever else. And
Sure.
if it's an hour, just go hang out with my kids, my wife. We make fun of each other.
Yeah.
We'll watch a show together.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest daughter, she's a real big Matilda fan, and she started watching that. So I'm like, I'm going to sleep in the chair.
Yeah, that's what I'd rather do than watch.
I'm like, I'm with you in spirit, but but my wife and I, and my kid, we'll usually at night we'll watch a show or two. That's really the extent of TV I even get.
Yeah.
But that's something I can spend with them. Now, some guys say, man, we go to the park together. Brother, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
You and I live in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And the humidity's like, and the heat. Can we stay inside?
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
But I mean, we have parks all around us, and that's a cool thing to see. You know,
right?
Because we were seeing those things die out for
that's
years,
right.
And now you're starting to see it come back. So we'll go do things like that sometimes. Go to a pool somewhere or a splash pad. But my thing is going home, and they know that I'm with them.
That's right. Yeah.
And my kids running home, Dad, or coming to me when I come to Daddy, they all hug me, and my oldest two kids, if I get away from them, I'm doing good.
That's right.
So I try to cherish.
Yeah. On our, like it can't be overstated. Our family is our first ministry.
Absolutely, we lose that.
And I know I'm not going to go into detail, but you kind of mentioned it with your previous youth leader, with Robert. What he did, he set the example for everybody else.
I think he did.
Yeah. So
I'll brag on him the day I die, because I've had the privilege of serving with different youth ministry. I loved them dearly. Some things we didn't see eye to eye on, but no big deal.
Yeah. Nothing
to lose any sleep over or lose our salvation over. But I watched Robert growing and learning, maturing, and man, that encouraged me. That started the fire in me. I'm thinking, because student ministry, and you know this, a lot of student ministries is marshmallows and moon pies.
Yeah,
it's just fun. It's just all this great stuff. But the reality is, when you devote yourself to the studies of the Word, and to people's lives, like pastoral ministry, man, my hardest years of ministry were student ministry. Because I was watching children lose either their parents or grandparents or go through a divorce.
Right.
And you're trying to really console them and help them because they didn't have it.
Right.
Or going and embarrassing some parents, and this was fun. This ended up being really good. I was seeing a youth ministry I was going to that could be better. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do what it takes. Yeah. My wife was there supporting. She was teaching, so she was able to do things with me. And I'd go pick up kids on the church van, and all of a sudden parents would get mad at me. Why are you coming out picking up my kids? Well, they want to come on Wednesday nights. Well, I can bring them. I said, well, bring them. Yeah. And guess what? My passion thing is, our Wednesday nights have really increased in the last couple months. It embarrassed them. Sometimes it's not intentionally doing that, but it was just fun. But guys like Robert kind of took me back to when I was a student ministry of like, okay, there's still some old school left. Yeah, right. That spend time with their kids. Sure. Yeah. That love on them. Yeah. And I think he set the example.
And you got some good ones too now.
Hunter McKinney's are sweet. They're expecting a first.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm torturing them.
Great.
And all September, I'm like, all right, well, you have to can you do your demotions from like the hospital?
Right. Yeah. At least because
that's
that's just a little bit. Yeah. Oh, Josh, I appreciate you again taking the time and doing this. I really, really enjoyed talking with you and just getting your perspective on ministry. And I hope that you have enjoyed listening. For those that are, again, ways that you can help support the Back Pew podcast is by liking or subscribing, following. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. So if you enjoyed this, let folks know about it. Spread the word, and we're looking forward to starting this journey. So, Josh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And until next time, I'll see you on the Back Pew.